Inspired by Rapala's popular Skitter Walk, the new X-Walk 13 is a bigger, beefier version whose walk-the-dog action calls fish in hot and heavy and triggers mind-blowing surface strikes. Imitating a swimming mullet or fleeing baitfish, the X-Walk 13 brings out the beast in saltwater broods.
Whether I'm fishing, points in a reservoir or flats in Florida, basically I throw the bait out there and start a steady walking cadence where the bait's just sashaying back and forth, side to side. The only time I really stop the bait is if I'm on a tough bite and the fish just aren't really cooperating, or I see individual objects or isolated targets where it might be a hole in the grass or it might be an underwater stump or something like that. I may walk the bait up to that type of cover and stop it and let the fish look at it for a second and then start it again. Generally that's when the strike comes, as soon as you get it going again.
But don't take our word for it. Take one for a walk yourself. The first thing you'll notice is how the weighted tail makes the X-Walk 13 cast like a bullet. It also causes the bait to sit in the water at just the right angle to make walking the dog easy and fun.
This lure, for me, it's one of those lures that makes you go, because you know that it has tons of application for what you do in salt water. Traditionally, what happens with a lot of the walking the dog type baits is that they're great on that slackline retrieve, but when you start picking up the speed and trying to bring that lure, with a much tighter walk, the lures don't follow. But the cool thing about the X-Walk is, again, because it's kind of aft weighted a little bit, you can make your long cast, right? Get out to the water you need to get out to, hold the rod tip up, and then reel and make those short little twitches, and you'll get that really fast saltwater retrieve with a much tighter walking the dog.
The large internal rattles cascading within the hollow body mimic the rhythmic cadence of baitfish schools flipping hundreds of tails in a feeble attempt to escape the inevitable. It not only looks good enough to eat, it sounds great too.
The X-Walk is just an extra large version of the Skitter Walk. It's made for extra large fish, big redfish, big snook, even tarpon or cobias offshore. And in the offshore colors, there's no reason why you can't catch tunas, wahoos, even maybe a sailfish. The other thing that I like about the X-Walk is it has a big ball bearing, and it's all about the tone. The clickety-clack going down the railroad track attracts a lot of fish, and that's why this is a must-go-to lure in your tackle box. And no doubt about it, big fish eat big lures. And that color, that clown color for sure, they really like. Redfish love chartreuse. Ain't no use if it ain't chartreuse.
The X-Walk 13 comes in 6 proven fish-catching colors, guaranteed to excite whatever fish species lurk below. And as it dances across the surface, the flash foil teaser tail flips and flaps in their faces, just begging to get whacked. Man, it looks so good it ought to be against the law.